And welcome. And welcome, everyone. And welcome, everyone, to Edmonds Stadium, where tonight playoff action is about to take place. The Meadowdale Mavericks versus the Auburn Trojans, a district playoff game. Win and advance to the state tournament. Lose and your season comes to an end. It is that simple. The Auburn Trojans, a powerhouse historically, a school that used to be much bigger before a few other schools down in the city of Auburn were built. Dropping down to 3A for the first time this year, as they were a 4A team the last couple of years. Matter of fact, they were a semi-finalist in the state playoffs just a couple of years ago. Going against the hometown Meadowdale Mavericks, a team that won the Wesco 3A South Division this year. However, they were not able to win Wesco, coming off of a very tough loss up in Marysville just a week ago.
Back for the Trojans, number 2, Avery Wade, along with Malik Williams.
And the Meadowdale Mavericks wearing the home blue uniforms tonight. The Auburn Trojans wearing the road whites. We've already had a coin toss. Auburn did win the toss. They will receive. Meadowdale set to kick off. That is number 3, Brett Schaefer. Schaefer lining up to kick. It is up, and we are underway into the end zone. And no big shock there, as Schaefer's been doing that all season long. That was number 2, Avery Wade, the 5'10", 160-pound senior, fielding the ball in the end zone. And Auburn will come on offense for the first time tonight. And we will get you caught up on their lineup here in just a moment. This is an Auburn team that plays in the SPSL, the South Puget Sound League. Finished their season with a record of 7-3. A team that rotates quarterbacks every other series, from what we've been told. It's been a very successful pattern for them all year long, and that's what they'll do right here. That is number 7, Nick Katz, who is playing quarterback for the first series. Handed that one off to Wade. That was number 2, Avery Wade. Looking for room around the right side. Didn't find much. No gain. It will bring up a 2nd and 10, and we'll get you the Auburn Trojan lineup right here, as given to us by their coaching staff tonight. Nick Katz, the senior quarterback, number 7, 6'1", 175 pounds. In the backfield, he has Avery Wade, number 2, Messiah Matthews, number 20, and the fullback, number 6, Patrick Odell. Starting center is Mario Luvano. We'll get you the rest of that lineup here in just a moment as Wade goes in motion, takes the sweep around the right-hand side, looking for room around the corner, spins off of one would-be tackler before he's finally pushed out of bounds right around the number 6-yard line. Number 36, Jimmy Bruder's on the tackle. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 4, and to get you the rest of that Trojan lineup, your left end, number 8, Tyler Prey. Your right end, those are your receivers, number 12, Caden Borden. Your offensive line, we already mentioned the center. Along the left side, you've got left tackle, number 50, Demetrius Tuea. Your left guard at number 72, Diago Arias. Right tackle, number 57, Jacob Sanau. And your right guard, number 58, Peyton Pulley. Here we come on the next play here. Looking for running room and not finding much. That was number 17 on the carry. That's Kevin Clay, the junior. Picked up about 3 yards. And 3 plays into this game, 3 plays from scrimmage, I should mention. Auburn looking at a 4th and 1, and they are going to drop back to punt. And no surprise to anybody here in this stadium. Number 5, Malik Braxton, the all-everything player, dropping back to receive the punt. Got number 3, Axel Boas, on to kick for Auburn. It's a heavy blitz from the Mavericks, but is able to get the kick off. It's going to bounce it around the 46-yard line of Meadowdale and take a very nice bounce for Auburn. It's finally going to be down at the 35-yard line. 36-yard punt for the Trojans, and the Mavericks will come onto the field offensively for the first time tonight. We'll get you caught up on this Meadowdale starting lineup as we go along. We don't actually have a too deep roster for them tonight, but anybody who's been watching all year, it hasn't changed much. Number 6, it's Caleb Tingstead, your quarterback tonight. Tingstead, who's done a great job coming in a few weeks ago when starting quarterback J.P. Rowson went down, and Tinkstead has not only taken over as a substitute, but he's done an admirable job as he leads Wesco 3A South in passing yards this season. Gives the handoff to Rory Spillum. Spillum looking for room up the middle, gets to the 45-yard line. A gain of 10. Speaking of Mavericks who have had great seasons, Rory Spillum coming into the game tonight, having rushed for 986 yards. Means he's 14 yards short of a 1,000-yard rushing season, and he just picked up 9 right there. So he should be able to pick that up in 1 or 2 more carries and go over the century mark for the 2014 season. Always a big target if you are a running back to get over the 1,000-yard mark, and he's about to do it. Spillum takes the handoff, looks for room up the middle. No, Tinkstead keeps it, and he finds a ton of room to the 35. He's off and running. The 20 to 10. Touchdown, Mavericks. Caleb Tinkstead with the quarterback keeper. 55-yard scamper down the right sideline, and the Mavericks are on the board. Caleb Tinkstead with the nice dive fake up the middle, as I think most of that defensive line for Auburn thought Spillum was carrying it right behind the center, and a lot of those players took the bait and dove for it. Tinkstead just rolled around the side, went right off of right tackle, and just found the sideline with nothing but open space all the way into the end zone. Brett Schaefer on for the PAT. Tinkstead with the hold, Schaefer with the kick. It is up, it is good. 9:24 to go here in the first quarter. Meadowdale 7, Auburn 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
We're back. Do they know? We're back. And we are back again. Edmond Stadium. Caleb Tinkstead striking first for the Mavericks. The Maverick quarterback. The second play from scrimmage. On the offensive side of things in Meadowdale with the early 7-0 lead. And here comes Auburn on the kick return. They tried a little trickery there, lining everybody up in a nice huddle. Not falling for it are the Meadowdale Mavericks as Malik Braxton makes the tackle at the 15-yard line. That was Malik Williams on the return. So one Malik to the other, one carrying the ball, the other one making the tackle. And Auburn will start their second possession of the game at their own 18-yard line. Mentioned it earlier, Meadowdale coming into this game as the 3A South champions. Had themselves one heck of a season, went undefeated in conference play. Did lose a game earlier this season to Lake Stevens, which was a non-conference game, and then lost to Marysville-Pilchuck. We've got a new quarterback in, as we mentioned this earlier. They will rotate. That is Justin Iomo. Iomo, the 6'2", 200-pound junior. And Iomo, besides being the quarterback, is also the team's leading rusher. And oh, by the way, he's tied for the team lead in tackles. So you'll see plenty of Iomo on both sides of the ball tonight. Gain of 4. Trojans ready to go. Iomo takes the handoff. Another sweep to Wade. Wade looking for some space. Doesn't find much as that Maverick defense toughening up. Number 24, Stephen Buonto, forcing him back into the middle where he was tackled. After a gain of 4, we'll bring up a 3rd and 2 As Auburn still looking for their first down of this game.
Gain of 3 on the play.
Iomo once again under center.
Third down with a yard to go.
Got strong side right. He does have a couple of wide receivers out to the left. Once again, Wade going in motion. Fakes the handoff, keeps it up the middle. And Iomo plows his way forward to the 31-yard line. A gain of 4. And Auburn with their first down of the game, moving the chains. Jimmy Bruder's making the tackle for Meadowdale.
4-yard pickup on the play.
This is an Auburn team that was 7-3 on the year. 3 tough losses to a couple of ranked teams. They lost to Kent Meridian by 3 early in the season. Lost to the eventual conference champion Peninsula team 31-10. And then lost an overtime game to Auburn Mountain View 17-13 a couple of weeks ago. Gives them an overall record of 7-3. Their last game they beat Lakes by 22, knocking Lakes out of the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. Going for the bomb, incomplete. Iomo looking for Sam Lindsay, number 9, the intended receiver. Being guarded very nicely by a few different Mavericks back there. One of which, J.P. Roughton, a name we haven't had a chance to call in a few weeks. J.P., the starting quarterback for Meadowdale early on in the season. And when he went down with the injury, he was the leading passer in the conference, or at least in Wesco 3A South. Roughton hurt his shoulder, his throwing arm, so he's not able to play quarterback, but he is back in playing tight end and linebacker. I believe this is his 3rd game back now. Iomo fakes the handoff. No, he does hand it off. The ball is fumbled, and Meadowdale comes up with the football. Number 40, Tyler Ruby, there to make the pounce, as Iomo intended the handoff for Patrick Odell as fullback. And that is the thing about that offense. They do a lot of trickeration, if you will, and I think he might have faked Odell out of it. He didn't know that ball was coming to him. Odell does not wrap up the ball and fumbles it onto the ground, and Ruby there to make the pickup. Meadowdale with the first turnover of the game, and they will take over their second possession of the ball game at the Auburn at 29-yard line. Already leading 7-0. The Mavericks are in great position. Tingstead with 2 receivers out to his right. He's going to run the ball. This is Spillum. Spillum looking for room off of the left side and is not going to find anything. Might have even lost a yard on the play. We'll call it a 2nd and 11. Looking out there for Meadowdale, some of the usual suspects on the offensive line. Peyton Seimer is out there, number 66. Number 54, Brandon Law. Number 52, Timothy Smith, the returning all-Wesco player from last year. Number 75, Spencer Stark, the 6-foot, 200-pound offensive lineman. Get you caught up on the rest of that lineup here in just a moment. Tingstead in shotgun formation one more time. Fakes the handoff, rolling out to the right. He's looking deep. He's got a man. He's looking for White. Intercepted. Ball was intended for number 19, Harrison White. Trojans back there to make the pick. That was Justin Iomo, the quarterback, who we just talked about in the last drive. We said that he played defense and that he was one of the team leaders in tackles, and apparently he's also not too bad at picking off passes as he gets the INT right there, his 2nd of the season. And once again, they will keep rotating quarterbacks as it's Nick Katz's turn now. And they will start over on their own 4-yard line, and that play isn't going anywhere. A slew of Mavericks there to make the play.
The inside handoff is given to Patrick Odell.
It was Odell on the carry.
Dropped immediately by Garrett Walsh of the Mavericks.
Garrett Walsh, number 99, making the tackle. So Walsh, along with TT, number 65, Tiano Tuolavia. And completing that defensive front is number 52, Timothy Smith. Those 3 have been doing an outstanding job all year long. We mentioned Ruby playing one of the linebackers earlier. Bronto, Bruders, Charlie White wearing number 32. And once again, Auburn looking for running space, and they're still not finding much. A few different players in on that tackle, Ruby being one of them.
Takes the handoff around the right
Looking back in that defensive backfield, number 5, Malik Braxton, number 1, Nick Neely.
2-yard pickup on the play.
2-yard pickup on the play. Also running at number 22 out there right now, Tyree Carson. Carson playing the right corner. 3rd and 8 coming up for the Trojans. And this time they find a little bit of space out to the left, but not much. It's the aforementioned Carson stepping up, making the open field tackle on Malik Williams, and Williams gets out to the 10-yard line. And for the second time tonight, Auburn is forced to punt, this time deep in their own territory as they line up on the 11-yard line. That's going to bring out Axel Baroas, the kicker, one more time.
Situation for the Trojans. Axel Barajas.
4:36 and counting left in the first quarter. Barojas back to kick. Gets a blitz up the middle and almost blocked as Braxton's going to take it on the 45 of Auburn. A fair catch, 34-yard punt. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Rory Spillum takes the carry up the middle, cuts back to the left, he's to the 15, the 10, and to the end zone. Touchdown Mavericks! Rory Spillum from 46 yards out. And for the second time in just 8 minutes of play, the Mavericks with a long touchdown run. It was Caleb Tingstead with the first touchdown, and this time it's Rory Spillum. Starts it up the middle, cuts it out to the left, and he's gone. Brett Schaefer on to kick the PAT one more time. 13-0, Meadowdale in the lead. Tingstead awaits the snap, puts it down, the kick is up. The kick is good. And with 4:15 to go in the first quarter, Meadowdale 14, Auburn 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mount Lake Terrace. He can be reached at 425.
And we are back again on the Sound Live Sports Network. Meadowdale with the 14-0 lead. We were actually at commercial and that happened so quickly. One play, 45-yard drive. Rory Spillum taking the handoff, busted up the middle, cut it out to the left, and found some sideline space, and just turned on the Jets for the long touchdown. 2 rushing touchdowns for Meadowdale here in the first quarter, and Malik Williams looking for a big return, and he might have one here. He finds space along the left-hand side before Malik Braxton finally pushes him out right around the 40-yard line, and Auburn now will have their best field position of the night. So Meadowdale with 3 possessions here thus far. First possession was a 2-play drive that culminated in a 55-yard touchdown run by Caleb Tingstead. And then this last drive, I should say the second drive of the game, ended in an interception. And then the last drive, a 1-play, 45-yard run by Rory Spillum. And Meadowdale looking like they want to move on to the next round. Less than 8 minutes into this game, they're already up 14-0. That is Avery looking for running space in the middle. Came around on that sweep and cut it back up into the middle. And going to finally wrap him up at the 47-yard line. They'll call it down right there. stop of forward progress, and Stephen Buonto making the tackle for the Mavericks.
Trojans pick up 8 on the play. Second down and 7 from the 48.
2nd and 2 coming up for Auburn. They have yet to cross midfield tonight. This is their best chance thus far. And as we keep mentioning, they rotate quarterbacks every other drive. This is Justin Iomo's turn. He's got Wade going into motion one more time. This time Iomo's going to keep it. Gets by Jimmy Bruders, but not by Malik Braxton, who throws him down violently into the turf as he crosses midfield. Just enough for the first down as Braxton showing good sportsmanship. Nice little pat on the arm afterwards. Malik playing a lot bigger than his size. He's listed at 5'11", 185.
Trojans have the ball. First and 10
And
from the Meadowdale.
he does not let much get by him there. And to Iomo's credit, though, he did pick up the first down. So Auburn looking at a 1st and 10 on the Meadowdale 49-yard line here with 3 minutes to go in the quarter. We got another sweep. This time it's going around to the left. That was number 22 on the carry. Deshaundre Appleton. Appleton getting his first carry of the night. Noticed looking at this team earlier, looking at the statistics, they certainly get a lot of different players involved. Appleton, one of them. He has 42 carries for 272 yards coming into the game.
Second down and 9 from the 48 for the Trojans.
6 different players with at least 190 yards rushing on the season for Auburn. You mentioned the leading rusher is the one that's taking the snaps from quarterback right now. That's Iomo. Iomo is going to scramble. He's got the first down and maybe some more. Finds some room out to the left and is finally shoved out at the 36-yard line. They'll actually spot him up at the 35. 13-yard gain for Iomo. And Auburn on their own right now as they are at the 35-yard line. This is their best chance to score thus far this evening.
5-yard line.
As Iomo moves the chains one more time. And Auburn already down 14. They need something right here, and they've got a nice little drive going. Appleton lined out to the right one more time. Let's see if he sweeps around like he did before. He does go in motion. Fake the handoff. This time Iomo's going to keep it himself, where he runs into Charlie White and number 32, the bruising linebacker. 6'3", 225-pound White. Does not let him get any further than the 33-yard line, a gain of 2. Nice little crowd here tonight. The weather could not be better for a November 7th football game.
From the Meadowdale 33.
Call it a crisp night, if you will. Temperature around 45, 50 degrees. No rain at all. And Iomo fakes the handoff. Appleton took it around the left. He's looking for a little room around the sideline and doesn't find much. Gets shoved out at the 30. Pickup of 3 that will bring up a 3rd and 5.
Appleton gets the ball, goes around the left.
Should have a nice little guest coming up here in the second quarter, as well as Beth Marriott, the Activities and Athletics Director from Meadowdale, will join us, and we'll talk a little bit about the football team overall. Also talk a little bit about their experience last week up in Marysville with the Marysville Pilchuck team playing their first football game since the tragic shooting that occurred up there 2 weeks ago. And we'll talk about some other sports going on right now, as this is playoff season not only for football but for all of the fall teams that are still participating, as Iomo fakes the handoff and then takes it himself up the middle. Is able to get forward for a gain of 5 and another Auburn first down.
Ripped up on the play by Tyler Ruby.
Tyler Ruby making the tackle for the Mavs.
Auburn, first down.
Auburn with their best field position of the night. If you're just tuning in, Meadowdale, they've had the ball 3 times so far tonight. One drive was a 2-play, 64-yard drive, which ended in a 55-yard Caleb Tingstead touchdown run. The third drive of the game was a 1-play, 45-yard drive. Spillum going all the way on that one with the touchdown that gave us the 14-0 score that we're looking at right now. And on that play, Kevin Clay getting the carry. Number 17 looking for a little room to the right. Was able to pick up 3 yards. And with 12 seconds to go here in the quarter, this might be the last play of the first.
Ball sitting on the Maverick 20-yard line.
That is, in fact, going to be the last play as the clock ticks down to 0. The Meadowdale Mavericks looking like they're aiming towards that second round of the playoffs. They are up 14-0. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mount Lake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger. And thank you for watching.
And we are back again on the Sound Alive Sports Network. And we are back again on the Sound Alive Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College, Meadowdale, with the early 14-0 lead. However, the Auburn Trojans are on the move, or are they? Iomo not finding any room up the middle. Tackled by a handful of Meadowdale Mavericks, one of which was Garrett Walsh, the big fella, number 99, making the play. Number 52, Timothy Smith, also in there. Being joined right now by a very special guest, the Activities and Athletic Director here at Meadowdale, Beth Marriott, is here. And Beth, welcome here again.
Well,
not your first time, right? But
not my first time, and really glad to be here. Thank you
not
for
the first time that Meadowdale's been in the playoffs either. This is always a kind of a nice occasion, right?
Yeah, I feel a little deja vu, actually.
See if we can go a little further this year, even as Iomo looking to pass, looking out to his left, scrambling, takes off up the middle, thinks about throwing it still, and is finally chased in from behind, but he does throw it towards the end zone. Malik Braxton getting his hand on that one. Nice job by Malik to make sure that number 17, Kevin Clay, had no chance of catching it. And that will bring up a 4th and 8. And Beth, interesting season here so far for Meadowdale. They won the Wesco 3A South Division.
We did. We won the 3A South, and we're very proud of that. And we had the opportunity to go up and play for the whole thing last week with Marysville Pilchuck. Great game, exciting, proud to be there, and honored to be the folks that played against the Tomahawks when they were ready to hit the field again.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, as that was a very interesting night to say the least, as Iomo under center, 4th and 8 coming up, and unfortunately Timothy Smith jumped off sides, and that's going to move the ball a little bit closer. We'll give Auburn a 4th and 3, and yeah, just for the folks who don't know, the way Wesco is set up, it's a crossover game in Week 9. So there's 2 divisions within Wesco. The 2 first-place teams, the first-place team from the north and the south, play each other. The second-place teams play each other, and on down the line. First place for the North Division, very interesting way in which that was determined this year is, for those who haven't been following it, 2 weeks ago there was a scheduled game between Oak Harbor and Marysville Pilchuck. That game was to determine who was going to win first place, and of course, that happened to be on the night of the tragic shooting that occurred that morning at Marysville Pilchuck, and Oak Harbor very graciously decided to forfeit that game, knowing what the Pilchuck folks were going through. And so we'll get back to that here in just a second, as I almost got a 4th and 3. And I think this time we've got a delay of game on Auburn, so they're going to move it back to the original line of scrimmage where it'll be 4th and 8. So, Beth, I guess from your standpoint, you were probably, when you woke up that morning, you were set to kind of keep an eye on that game anyway, because it was going to determine where your football team was going to go the very next week. When did you find out what had happened, and can you kind of take us through the next couple days after that?
Well, I sure can. As most people might know, Edmonds School District was not in school on that Friday, and I just happened to be at work doing a fundraiser with my leadership students when I got the news about Marysville Pilchuck and what they'd experienced. And we followed quite carefully the events of that day and learned the news later that night that Oak Harbor had been so gracious as to forfeit the game. And actually, they are co-champions. Both Marysville and Oak Harbor are sharing that first place spot in the North. Rightfully so, yes.
Yeah, and that's great that they did that. I mean, the compassion that was shown between those two schools all week long really was just incredible, and those two football teams. And to see the Oak Harbor kids come down that same Friday night to support Marysville Pilchuck as the community was meeting and things along those lines. I can't say enough for the way that both of those schools handled it. Every school's been a little bit different in terms of how they've reached out to Marysville Pilchuck and that community. Obviously, that day was fairly chaotic, and we'll get back to that in just a second here as Auburn comes back on for the 4th and 8 play. The day was very chaotic, and I want to ask you as soon as this play is done here in terms of what you guys did to reach out and how you showed support even before the football game, because obviously that's another story entirely, but it'd be interesting to kind of hear your take on that as Iomo is back under center one more time, looking at a 4th and 8. Number 11 goes in motion. That's Williams. Iomo's looking towards the end zone. Throws it on up. He's got a couple of guys. He's got one intended receiver over there. The ball is batted away. Braxton making sure that number 12, Caden Borden, had no chance at it. That will turn the ball over on downs, so Meadowdale will take over one more time, and this time on their own 21-yard line. So, Beth, what was that like? I mean, obviously you know the athletic director up there, Greg Erickson.
I do. I know Greg very well, and I work closely with him as a new athletic director. He's an amazing man, and he had so much grace in the way that he and his community handled everything that happened.
And Meadowdale coming back onto offense one more time. Caleb Tingstead. He's got a couple of receivers out to his right. Spillum lined up in the backfield. Takes the handoff, gives it to Spillum. Spillum looking for room up the middle where he's stacked up immediately. So did you reach out to Greg that day, or did you kind of let him have his space? What was your first contact with Greg or anybody from the Marysville Pilchuck community?
Well, actually, my first contact was to try to reach out to their activities coordinator, Dick Caldwell, because I know that Dick has an office very close to the cafeteria, and we were very concerned about his well-being. And so we reached out to him through email and really didn't hear anything initially, but of course it was a pretty crazy day for them, and so we certainly understand why it took a couple of days before we were able to actually talk to him.
Sure. Still got a little bit of a conference going on out here. So as far as the game itself, now at some point you and Mr. Erickson need to kind of confer to talk about what's going to happen for the game that week. Did you reach out to him on Monday or Tuesday? When did you actually have your first conversation with him about the game itself?
Well, we actually, as you know, on the 24th played Shorecrest, and by then all of Westco and really all over our state and in a lot of places in our nation had reached out to Marysville and made efforts to try to prepare them for what it would be like when they returned to school. Our students made posters actually on that day, and just as students had reached out to us when we had lost our student a year before, we wanted to do the same thing. So we organized groups to be up at the school to get food for the staff when they decided to come back to the site and prepare for that first day of school. They prepared for an assembly, and we added to that with some posters and some red ribbons that we could pass on to them.
Oh, wow. Tingstead on the last carry there. He picked up 5 yards. It's 3rd and 5 right now. Looks to pass. He's going to throw a screen play over to Braxton across the middle. Cuts it out to the left and back to the right where he's got some space and a blocker to the 50, the 45, and finally goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line of Auburn. A gain of 36 yards on the play. Braxton with a beautiful screen pass, doing what he does best, using those feet. Very elusive is Malik, and he picks up a huge first down for Meadowdale. So the game itself, obviously, what happened that night was much bigger than a game. We all know that. But from the standpoint of trying to get your own players there and your coaching staff, everybody in the nation was really kind of tuned into what was going on that night at Marysville Pilchuck. How much of a distraction was that for you and the staff trying to get everything coordinated and up there? I mean, was there much for you guys to do in that sense, or?
As much as it was a distraction, it was also a great honor to be the team that came to place themselves on the field with Marysville Pilchuck for the first time and try and help that community heal. Greg and I talked on Wednesday, once it's been established that we would be the team traveling to Marysville to play them. Once the game was set, we talked about getting our buses up there and how early they wanted our players there. Greg was gracious in having a room for our boys prepared. Families brought pizza and drinks for the students to enjoy and to make sure that they were ready to go when they hit the field. A lot of people from Marysville high-fiving our players as they went in and out of the stadium. It was a great place to be. And if you're going to be playing football on Halloween, there's no place better to play than in Westco.
Sure. You mentioned to me earlier, we were talking off the air about the drive up there and driving by that fence. Can you talk a little bit about that as well?
I can. Once you hit the town of Marysville, there's not a tree, a light post, a bush that doesn't have a red or white ribbon hanging from it. And that was apparent that something had happened and that there was a new feeling in that town. As we drove down the main drag headed to the school, you just got a kind of an eerie and almost, a sacred feeling that you were heading into an area that wasn't the same. Once we reached the fence outside Marysville Pilchuck and saw the amazing memorial that was set up for the families, for the community, for those who tragically lost their lives and those that are still in the hospital, it was a pretty surreal moment for myself and my husband as we made our way to the stadium. And once we got to the stadium, we were greeted by folks that were just happy to have us there.
Oh, I bet. Braxton with a nice catch there out on the left. Picks up the first down, so the ball is moved up to the 26-yard line. And as far as the days after that, you mentioned to me earlier that there was already a scheduled athletic director meeting up. I guess it wasn't at the school, but it was on district property. Did you get a chance to talk to Greg Erickson a little bit more and some of the other folks as to how they were doing and how the community seems to be recovering from this?
I did. Once a month, the athletic directors from the Wesco League get together and we hold our monthly meeting to discuss the upcoming seasons, pre- and post-season meetings and how those are going, changes to rules or playoff scenarios. And we were scheduled to meet at the Marysville School District boardroom, just because when we normally meet at Everett, that was not available. So that was the first time I'd ever been in their boardroom, and it's quite something to see how many people have reached out to that community and told them that we're there and we're standing next to you as you heal from this tragedy.
Sure. Spillum, by the way, on that last play, got to the 4-yard line, a gain of 21 yards. Late penalty thrown at the end of the play, and that might even tack on a couple more, as it was a personal foul face mask tackle on Auburn that will move the ball half the distance to the goal line. And Meadowdale will now look at 1st and goal from the 2. And we'll get back to Beth here in just a second as we call this next play as Meadowdale, and much to Beth's liking, looking to take a 3-touchdown lead here, and we're not even halfway through the second quarter yet. Tinkstead in shotgun formation, hands off to Spillum. Spillum looking for room right up the middle. He's going to be very, very close to that goal line and just a bit short. I'm going to spot that one inside the 1-yard line, maybe just barely outside that goal line, as Meadowdale is going to look at a 2nd and goal and a chance to take a 3-touchdown lead. And Beth, the team's looking pretty good here. They look like they might be moving on to the state playoffs for the 2nd straight year here. We should point out this is the district playoff. The quote-unquote state playoffs start next week.
That's right, quad district playoff, so we're excited to be a part of that.
Another hand. No, this time Tinkstead keeps it. Looks for room around the right. No, the left, rather. Dives in towards the end zone. We're awaiting a signal. The referees look like they're going to call him just a bit short. It's going to bring up a 3rd and goal from just right outside the goal line.
Going out just before the goal line.
So Beth, in a moment after this hopeful touchdown here in just a second here, I want to ask you a little more about the meeting up in Marysville Pilchuck. as that ball is resting just a few inches outside that white line. Keep in mind, all the ball has to do is cross the plane of the goal line. Does not have to go all the way over. So Meadowdale really just a few inches away from scoring right here. 6:47 to go in the third quarter. Ball snapped low, handoff to Spillum. Spillum gets denied one more time. Give Auburn a lot of credit there as they stood him up and threw him back before he was able to cross that goal line. And now Meadowdale with a big fourth down situation coming up. They're not going to waste any time. They rush right back to the line. Hurry up offense. Spillum still in the backfield. Tingsted's going to just keep it this time. Dives in towards the end zone. Referees have not signaled yet. They're going to say he was stopped. Bad news is you don't get a touchdown. The good news is that you pinned Auburn right on their own goal line, so I guess that's not bad, right?
We have. It'll give our defense an opportunity now to have some fun.
And the defense has done a nice job all year long.
They certainly have.
So was there ever any talk to move that meeting away from Marysville, knowing that what had just happened, or was it in some ways cathartic or therapeutic for them to still have a meeting up there and be able to get people up into the community? And
I think it was great for us to continue with business as needed to be. And Greg's a wonderful host. He brought us in, and I've got to tell you, the Marysville School District has a nice boardroom, pretty comfortable chair. So I was glad we were there.
You might want to go back there then. If,
absolutely.
Have that monthly meeting there more often.
We could.
And Auburn looking to get out of their own end zone, and they don't do much to move the ball down the field. They might have picked up a yard on the play as Charlie White, along with Garrett Walsh, able to stop the quarterback. That is Iomo back in one more time. As we mentioned earlier, the two quarterbacks rotating tonight. I'm going to put that one on the 1 yard line. Well, the game itself didn't go quite the way the Mavericks wanted, but they looked good for the most part. There was about a 41-second window in which Marysville scored 3 quick touchdowns, and that was the difference in the game.
It was a tough night. I'm not gonna kid you. We had about a minute and a half there that we'd like to take back, but we're awful proud of how we came out the second half. We were throwing, we were catching, we're making moves, and then I'll tell you, Austin Joyner's the real thing.
Yeah.
He's an excellent athlete, and he did a fantastic job whenever he was handed the ball along with the rest of their team. So kudos to them, and I think it was just the way it was supposed to be that night.
Yeah, and to be honest, Austin Joyner is, for the most part, usually regarded as maybe the best running back in the state. He has accepted a full-ride scholarship to Washington State University, so no shame to let him pick up a few yards here and there. He's been doing that all year long, and actually he's been doing that his entire career there, so it's not the first time that we've seen him pick up a big yardage night. But Meadowdale doing a nice job to keep him in check for the most part in the first half. And
we did. And, if we can keep him on the line, we're fine. It's just when he gets around the corner that we were struggling to keep up with him.
And your defense, doing a nice job again here as they just held Auburn to, maybe 2 yards and in 3 plays. Not even that, as they're going to have to punt from their own goal line here. 4:26 to go in the second quarter. Charlie White with the block! Ball goes out of the back of the end zone, and Meadowdale picks up the safety. That is the danger of punting on your own goal line. You don't get that 15-yard cushion that a punter normally gets. And Charlie White just busted up the middle, blocking the kick. And Meadowdale with a 16-0 lead here with 4:21 to go in the second quarter. And they get the ball back, so maybe that was a strategy. It was okay to not get the touchdown, right?
Absolutely it is. Now we got another shot at him before halftime.
How have you graded Coach Don so far in his second year? I know he had big shoes to fill. Obviously, Coach Stewart had been here for a long time.
Big shoes to fill, but we are incredibly proud of our entire coaching staff. I think Coach Don has brought on some great guys this year. He's got some new additions to his coaching team, people that work at Meadowdale High School, so we have a large number of our staff that are involved in our athletics, and I think honestly I'm one of the luckiest athletic directors in all of Edmonds because the majority of my coaches are teachers at Meadowdale, and they're committed to the kids and they're committed to making a difference both in the classroom and then on the court or on the field.
Well, and speaking of in the classroom, a pretty cool thing that happened earlier this week. Tell us a little bit about your volleyball team.
I will. My volleyball team is the 3A state academic champions, and we are so proud of them. They've been on the cusp for many years, knocking at the door, but this year they did it, and we're so proud of them. We got the news on senior night, so we were able to award them their certificates and share that celebration with the families. And I'm looking forward to a possible recognition by the Edmonds School Board at a future school board meeting. So hope I didn't let the cat out of the bag on that one, but
Very
we're
nice.
hoping that they'll be recognized as well in that capacity, because those girls have worked very hard for that honor.
And what is the criteria that goes into that award? Is it strictly GPA, or are there other things that they take into account?
It's strictly GPA.
It is, okay.
It is, and our girls had a wonderful GPA this year, 3.84, I
Wow.
believe. And don't quote me on that, because it could have been just a little bit higher than what I just said.
Well, if it's in the 3.8 range, period, that's not bad for
That's not
entire
bad
group,
for
an
an entire
team,
team.
right? They're going to call that an illegal block in the back against Meadowdale as Braxton returned the kick to the 45-yard line. So, yeah, the volleyball team not as successful as they wanted to be on the field or on the court this year, but I think they would take that just about any time, right? Or you, I would think, would. I mean,
A lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
It was a very young team. We had only 2 seniors. We've got a lot of growth in the near future. Same with our soccer.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of new faces out on the field for us, and those girls got through 2 postseason games, which was exciting, and made us proud. Took it right down to the wire this week against Mountlake Terrace and lost in the second half by a score of 2-1. So very proud of the growth that's gone on with our soccer team after losing so many amazing athletes over the last few years.
oh, very nice. The Meadowdale Mavericks now with the ball on the 39-yard line. 4:12 to go here, first half. Mavs already up 16-0. They're looking for more as Tingstead in shotgun formation. Fakes the handoff to Spillum, throws it out to Harrison White. White finding a little bit of room down the right sideline and gets down to the 22-yard line where he's tackled. We do have a penalty marker down in the backfield at around the 37-yard line, and they're going to call ineligible receiver downfield on the play as Tingstead faked the handoff, and if you are an offensive lineman, you cannot release downfield until the pass is made. And apparently the referees felt like at least one of the linemen took off early, and that is what the call is. Looking at other sports right now, anything else to look for here in the postseason as all these teams come into playoff action? You got some swimmers you mentioned,
We've got
right?
some swimmers that are headed off to districts, and a couple have qualified for state with their times. So we're excited to see how they do, and they're having a great time in the pool. We've got our tennis boy, Brett, who's going to be heading to state. We do have one tennis player that's going on to the state tournament, which will be in the spring, and looking forward to seeing how he does, and hoping he's practicing all winter long to keep his skills up. I understand he's a soccer player as well, so that's going to be quite a test of his talents to play tennis and soccer at the same time.
Yeah, no kidding. As Tingsted's going to look deep on this play. He's got Braxton down the left sideline. Incomplete as Iomo guarding Malik on the pass. It's going to bring up a second down. And you don't get much of a rest here, do you? Once the fall sports are done, it's right into winter.
Yeah, we don't get much rest during the school year. We are prepping this week for tryouts for our winter sports, which will begin on the 17th of November. We've got basketball, both boys and girls, boys swim, and wrestling coming up. And just tonight I was working on the schedule, and I thought, oh, my goodness, have we got a lot of exciting stuff that's going to be going on in the stable. I sure hope you're going to be a part of that.
Absolutely. No, I think that is the plan, and I've got to think for you too. I mean, you've been the activities director for quite a few years, right?
Yes, I have for 7 years.
And am I correct in athletic became part of your job last year?
Last year, so this is my second year.
As Spillum running up the middle, and he finally cuts it out to the left. Gets ahead to the 28-yard line where he's tackled, but not before he picks up another Meadowdale first down. How are you enjoying that? I mean, does it is it twice the work now that you had in years past, or is it?
I would say it's a whole lot more than twice the work.
Okay.
When you're working with leadership students, a lot of your job is sort of that unicorns and rainbows and everything's great. And when you're working with sports, it's unicorns and rainbows, but it's also some challenging things that you're facing as an athletic director.
Braxton catches another pass out to the left, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at around the 23-yard line. Well, I got to put you on the spot here real quick. I was trying to look this up earlier, and you may not know the answer to this, but I thought I'd at least try. So if Meadowdale wins tonight, they're more than likely going to play Eastside Catholic next week, a rematch from last year. When do we find out where that game would be played at, or do we already know?
Well, we have had some contact with Eastside Catholic, and should that be the case, right now we have that game scheduled for 7 o'clock at Memorial Stadium in Seattle. Kind of a deja vu moment again for us. So that's what's slated for now. Whether that'll change, whether something will happen, times will change, a lot can happen. It's Friday night, it's football. Who knows? Arlington may take them down, and we're not out of the woods yet.
Certainly don't want to say that it's those two teams did play each other earlier this year in a game that Eastside Catholic won 48-7. Having said that, Arlington is still going to show up and give them a game tonight, but that's a very good Eastside Catholic team, I will say that.
They are. And we would relish the opportunity to get back in that stadium and maybe make a different ending to our story this year.
Yeah, what a great game that was, by the way.
It really was.
Until the end. We didn't like the last 90 seconds, but I thought we had a shot to win it there.
I thought we did, too.
And down the field.
I left with a smile on my face. No regrets. Left it all on the field, and I think the team did as well.
And I will say this, and maybe I'm kind of nostalgic in this way, but Edmonds Stadium is my home stadium here. This is where I grew up, and I always enjoy watching games here. But from a just standpoint of what the sport of high school football means to this area, there's a lot of history at Memorial Stadium in downtown Seattle. And if you haven't had a chance to go watch a game there, and if that is in fact where these two teams play next week, assuming Meadowdale wins tonight, this game's not over yet, but I would hope that more people would come out and watch that game. It's a fun place to watch football.
It is. It's a great city. There's so much to do. There's so much that you can take advantage of and make a night of it. Make it a family event. Bring everybody. One of the things that I loved so much is we had so many alumni from the University of Washington who came to watch our boys play. Michael Cummings was in the house sharing those experiences that he had just the year before as a football player for us. So I'm hoping we get that opportunity, and I'm hoping Coach Don and his staff and his players get that chance next Friday night.
And Spillum tried to catch that one off the shoestrings. It's going to be ruled an incomplete pass, which will put the ball down at the 35-yard line or 25-yard line. And Beth, we might get a chance to see one of the best kickers in the state of Washington, Brett Schaefer, come on here right now. Brett has had himself a very nice year, and he's got one of the stronger feet we've seen in the state this year as well.
You know, he is remarkable. I can't figure out why I don't have him playing soccer for me. He's an amazing young man, and what a nice guy too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. If their talent is equal to their character, as it is with Brett, then that says something about the program we have at Meadowdale.
And you are not the first person that said that. I've heard that numerous times of Brett. Brett gets this one up in the air, and he misses that one. Just
so close.
Hooked it a little bit to the right, but he had the distance. Still a nice guy, though.
Still a nice guy. still quite a foot on
kicker.
that.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
42 yards. You don't see that very often in high school, and we've seen him kick clutch kicks this year, as he had a big one against Edmonds Woodway in the Jam the Stands game this year, and
he did.
He's had a few big plays this year. So I won't keep you up here for too much longer, but it's always fun to visit with you, and I appreciate you coming up and everything you do for the school and the community. And
I appreciate the opportunity, and I got to tell you, you guys really have the best view in the stadium up here. tempted to hide in the back and just watch from up here because it's a whole lot of fun. But thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
I so appreciate it. I appreciate what you do for our school, for our students, and for giving our community an opportunity to stay in touch with the Mavericks if they can't be in the stadium tonight. So thank you for that.
Definitely. And hey, the way this game's going, this may not be the last time we're covering Mavericks football this year.
That's what we're hoping to. Thank you again.
I appreciate it. So Beth Marriott, thanks. Enjoyed having her on. And hopefully Beth is on her way to, she's going to be watching the kids at halftime as always, but hopefully she and the rest of the crew are able to kind of celebrate a victory later on tonight. As 1:41 left in the second quarter here, Meadowdale up 16-0. Auburn with the ball one more time. Nick Katz under center. They're going to do a double reverse this time. That is number 17 on the carry, Kevin Clay. As Avery Wade took the initial sweep out to the right, gave it to Clay, who was running out to the left. Didn't find much room in the Meadowdale defense, which has been awesome in the entire night, continuing to stymie the Auburn offense as they're not able to do much with it. And we're going to get a quick timeout. We will take a break, or we will just keep it here. Why not? 1:21 to go in the second quarter. As Meadowdale holding on to that 16-0 lead. Auburn still looking for their first points. They have the ball, but it is 3rd and 6 on their own 24-yard line. And very interesting to note that I was not expecting a tentative, we'll call it tentative, time and date for next week's game. I was just hoping that maybe Beth could clue us in on which team might be the home team, as it's usually based on the higher seeded team going into that next round. However, the way it is set up in their districts, Meadowdale and Eastside Catholic are equal seeds, so I figured it would be a neutral site, but I wasn't sure if they had the site lined up yet, but it sounds like they might. And what a fun game that will be if, in fact, Meadowdale and Eastside Catholic both come through victoriously tonight. A potential rematch of last year's second-round state game in which Eastside Catholic squeaked out a 6-point victory over Meadowdale. And Auburn finding some running room. Penalty marker thrown back near the 31-yard line as number 6, Patrick Odell, the fullback, was able to pick up 24 yards on the play. Got out to the 48-yard line. However, a holding call against Auburn will bring this one back.
That's a spot infraction foul.
As you can hear through the background there, it is a spot infraction, which means it is a 10-yard penalty from the hold. So somewhat good news for Auburn as that play happened a little bit further down the field, or the infraction did. So Auburn will not lose as many yards as we initially thought they were going to. It is a 10-yard penalty from the 33-yard line, so it pushes it back to the 23. So in all actuality, Auburn only lost a yard. They did not lose a down, however, so it is still 3rd down, 3rd and 7. And once again, we're going to keep it right here. 1:14 to go, second quarter. Meadowdale 16, Auburn 0. A very nice crowd here tonight for Meadowdale. They've got the band playing. Cheerleaders look like they're dry for once. I'm sure they're happy about that in November. We've had some very wet nights here from the month of October, so it is good to see them out there and having a good time. A great crowd here tonight, as you would expect for a playoff game. And just looking out to the left here of our booth, even the Auburn folks traveled fairly well. You never know what you're going to get when you have a playoff game from an opposing team as to whether or not their fans will in fact make the trip. And in tonight's case, it looks like the Trojan fans have come out to support their team. And with 1:14 to go here in the second quarter, we are back and ready to play again as number 1, Justin Iomo, continues to play quarterback. Trips out to the right. Wade goes in motion, keeps the ball himself. Iomo looking for room up the middle, and Iomo going backwards. Garrett Walsh able to wrap him up. Like Timothy Smith was there to make sure that he wasn't going to get past Mr. Walsh if he was able to break away. Give him a 1-yard pickup on the play. And Meadowdale's going to call a timeout. But we're going to keep it right here. Short timeout at that. It's 4th and 6 coming up. 1:06 to go in the first half. Meadowdale with a 16-0 lead thanks to 2 long touchdown runs in the first quarter. A 55-yarder by Caleb Tingstead on the first drive of the game. Then got a 45-yard run by tailback Rory Spillum. And the only scoring of the second quarter was a blocked punt after Meadowdale held Auburn, forced them to punt from their own 2-yard line. Charlie White able to come up the middle, blocked the punt out of the back of the end zone. And that is our scoring here in the first half. Meadowdale with a 16-0 lead. Axel Baroas back to punt one more time. Standing on his own 8-yard line, Malik Braxton at midfield. The ball's going to bounce. He's not going to pick it up, but he's tackled at the 10-yard line. And that is where Meadowdale will take over. So the punting game not helping Auburn's cause tonight. As Barojas not able to pick that one up off the ground in time. Neely making sure that Barojas didn't get the kick away. And they get tackled at the 10. 59 seconds to go in the half. Meadowdale looking to expand that lead. Actually, we're going to put it on the 11-yard line now, where the Mavericks will take over. Invite you to stick around at halftime for the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime show. Get you caught up on the first half of play and possibly have a special guest here as we wait to see what we can come up with. Rory Spillum looking for room out to the left, cuts it back into the middle where he's finally tackled at the 5-yard line. Meadowdale out of timeouts right now as the clock continues to wind down, showing 46 seconds left. And knowing that, they're going to come right back up to the line of scrimmage. Tingstead looking over towards the sideline, awaiting the play call. 36 seconds now showing on the clock. Tingstead looking to throw a fade pass into the corner of the end zone, and Braxton not able to come up with it. Just a very simple fade into the right corner. Braxton trying to make the over-the-shoulder catch, and the ball just floats just a bit past his right shoulder and out of bounds. Brings up a 3rd and 5. It's number 11, Malik Williams on the coverage for Auburn. This is an Auburn team coached by Gordon Elliott, his 13th season as the head coach at Auburn. Elliott just picked up his 101st win of his career last Friday against Lakes. Win number 102 tonight would put him into the first round of the state playoffs, but first they need to start getting some points as Braxton catches the back shoulder play into the end zone for the touchdown. However, a flag was thrown right near the sideline here, and not a lot of celebration by Meadowdale just quite yet, as it appears as though the penalty is going to go against the home team, and that will take the touchdown off the board.
Indication is ineligible receiver for Meadowdale.
Ineligible receiver for Meadowdale. The second time they've been called for that tonight. It's also the second time it's wiped out. A nice big play reception for the Mavericks. We'll bring up a third, call it 3rd and 10 from the 11-yard line. They do have an opportunity to pick up a first down at about the 1.5-yard line. Not a lot of time left though. 25 seconds showing on the clock here in the half. Meadowdale out of timeouts. We'll be interested to see if they don't try to put this one up towards the end zone in some way, shape, or form. Donovan lined up far right. Harrison White in the slot. They're going to throw to the left. Touchdown, Mavericks! Charlie White catching the Caleb Tingstead shot into the corner. Meadowdale now with a 22-0 lead with 21 seconds to go in the half. Caleb Tingstead doing it both with his feet and his arm tonight. Already had a long touchdown run earlier. Now he adds a touchdown pass to his stats. And Brett Schaefer on to kick the PAT. Charlie White coming into this game with 4 touchdown receptions. Give him his 5th on the year. Schaefer kicks it through the uprights. And Meadowdale with a 23-0 lead. As we are 21 seconds away from halftime, we'll take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Okay. And we are back again on the Sound Alive Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. It is all Mavericks here in the first half. 23-0. So they are leading the Auburn Trojans. And if they continue to play like this, they are 24 minutes away. Playing minutes, I should say. We're not going to be out of here in 24 minutes per se. We are 1/2 away from Meadowdale advancing to the next round of the playoffs. Squib kick there, fielded by number 9, Sam Lindsay. Lindsay picking that one up at the 36-yard line. Might have got ahead for a yard afterwards. And with 18 seconds to go here in the half, we'll be interested to see if Auburn decides to play conservatively or if they might try to put one up in the air here towards the Meadowdale side of the field. Skeleton crew tonight up here for us, so we don't have any stats, but I can tell you right now, they are very lopsided at this point. It has been all Meadowdale the entire game, both offensively and on the defensive side, as Auburn really finding it a tough go to get any kind of yardage going tonight. They have been on the Meadowdale side of the field one time thus far. As Wade goes in motion one more time, Iona's going to drop back to pass, looking around, getting blitzed. Finally throws it, and we're going to get a pass interference called against Stephen Buonto, number 24. Ball was intended for number 8, Tyler Prey. Buonto, I believe, was trying to get a break on that ball, as I'm sure he had visions of maybe even picking it off, and just happened to run right in front of the direction in which Prey was running into, and hit the wide receiver into the ground, and that's going to be a penalty against the Mavs. It's a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. We'll put the ball right at midfield. 11 seconds to go here in the half. Should point out that Auburn does have 2 timeouts remaining, so if they wanted to, could run a quick play over the middle or could even just do a handoff here, get a few yards and call a timeout, get a little bit closer to where they can possibly put a ball up into the end zone on the last play of the half. Let's see what they do. Iona drops back to pass. He's getting blitzed, dancing around a lot. The clock now showing 6 seconds to go. Throws it across the middle, incomplete. It was intended for Caden Borden. That's exactly what they were trying to do, as Borden had that ball trickle right out of his hands at around the 38-yard line. Which means that this will be the final play of the half coming up unless there's a penalty. And we're going to see what kind of an arm Justin Iono has and see if the Trojans want to try to put one up in the air down the field and possibly get lucky on a long pass here to end the half. Try to get you some scores from around the area tonight as well, maybe at halftime. I did get one text here already sent to us. As Iona drops back to pass, looking deep, throwing it down the middle of the field, incomplete. That ball landed at the 5-yard line. It was intended for number 2, Avery Wade, and that is the end of the first half with the home team, the Meadowdale Mavericks, coasting out to a 23-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Hey. Okay, so we are back again. It's the Action Jackson Plumbing halftime report. Got a couple of special guests up here. We're going to put them on real quick. A couple of the ball boys for the Meadowdale Mavericks have joined us. Not only are they the ball boys, though, they've got brothers on the team that are having a very good night, and they can talk to us a little bit about the game. Tyson Neely, he's on the air with us right now, the brother of Nick Neely, number one. How's your brother doing tonight so far?
I think he is doing pretty good on defense, and he needs to start like stepping it up, you know.
He needs to step it up a little bit?
Yeah.
He's got a shutout going. That's not bad, though, right?
Yeah. He said he doesn't have any scholarship, so yeah.
So he's trying to get scholarship, so he needs to play a little better to get the scholarship.
Yeah. And he's trying to go to the same college as Malik Braxton.
Well, now, where's Malik going to go? Do you got some inside information on that?
He may go to Idaho.
He's got Idaho and Air Force looking at him, right?
Yes.
So your brother wants to go to school with Malik.
Yeah.
So breaking news right here. We like this. Well, cool. You have anybody watching the game tonight?
Yes, I have my cousin Camila, my mom.
We have a camera now. There we go.
Isaac's
Good year so far.
Yeah, he's having a really good year.
Yeah? You think do you like watching him play receiver?
Yeah.
So he's what? He's punting this year. He's the punt returner. He's doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing? Once again, you are watching the Sound Live Sports Network. That was our Action Jackson halftime report. You're watching SLSN 23-0 Meadowdale with the lead.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And we are back again on the Sound Alive Sports Network. Your Action Jackson Plumbing halftime score. Meadowdale Mavericks 23, the Auburn Trojans 0. Quite the action-packed halftime for Action Jackson, if you will. As we had three different guests up here, Tyson Neely and Isaac Braxton, who's are the two ball boys for Meadowdale and whose brothers play for the Mavericks football team. And then we had David Kruger from the Everett Herald come in and talk to us a little bit. We appreciate all three of them coming by. Getting a few scores passed along our way so far. Linden is beating Shorecrest 28-7. That's a very interesting game in itself in that you have a Shorecrest football team that did not win a football game all season long. They are a 2A football team that plays in the Wesco 3A conference. They did not win a football game all season long. I will mention that again. And they made the 2A playoffs. Apparently there are not enough 2A teams around in the area, in the district, to fulfill the needs that are required to play the district first round of playoffs. So Shorecrest, by virtue of showing up this year, got a playoff spot. And not a huge shock to anybody. They are losing to Linden right now, 28-7. Getting a few other scores here as we were just. Angelo Camo points out that is the draw that you won in the first round. Join a team that did not win a game all year. Todd Beamer leading Kamiak 17-7 in the third quarter. That is a big game up that's taking place at Goddard Stadium tonight. Oak Harbor beating Kennedy Catholic 21-14. So we keep getting scores passed along. A non-playoff game, a game that's finishing out the season for two other Wesco teams. Cascade leading Shorewood 41-0. And unfortunately, one of our other Edmond School District schools, as we continue to listen to the PA announcer, we just found out that Mount Si is beating Linwood tonight 47-6 in the third quarter. So the Linwood Royals, running clock, as Angelo Camo points out. I guess that would be the one saving grace, if you will, for Linwood, is that game will be over quicker than it would have otherwise been. But Linwood, a team that looked pretty good early in the year, ran into the injury bug for a while, and they looked pretty good playing Shorewood 2 weeks ago. I thought they were going to rebound and maybe get a fifth win this year, and it appears that is not going to be the case, as they will be falling to 4-6 tonight. We're getting another score here right now as we talk.
49-7.
Marysville Pilchuck defeating Seattle Prep 49-7, so they have advanced to the playoffs. That was a game in which the Pilchuck Tomahawks led 42-0 at halftime. And I should mention that's kind of low for them. They've had a few games in which they've had over 50 points in halves this year in the first half. I believe they had 51 points against Marysville Getchell a few weeks ago in a game, and then I think it was 56 points against Everett in the first half in another game. So that is a Pilchuck team that is very strong.
Back to the Mavericks, number 1, Nick Neely, number 5.
And we are just about ready for the second half of action here. Meadowdale with the 23-0 lead after the first half. 23 points coming on 3 touchdowns by 3 different players. Caleb Tingstead, touchdown run. Rory Spillum, touchdown run. Charlie White, touchdown catch. And then Charlie White also has a safety in which he blocked a punt out of the back of the end zone. Braxton looking for room and slides down at the 14-yard line. And that is where the Mavericks will have their first possession here of the second half.
9-yard run back.
9-yard run back for Malik, who hobble off the field a little gingerly there as he took kind of an awkward spill as he was looking for some room around the left, and looked like his feet just kind of slid along that turf right out from underneath him, and he continues to try to shake that off as he runs back to the sideline, and we'll keep an eye on Braxton to see if he's okay. Caleb Tingstead, number 6, continuing to play quarterback. This is Garrett Walsh playing a wing spot to number 99. It's more of a lead blocker position, and they're going to try to run right behind him as Spillum look to find some room out to the right. Finally cut it back into the middle where he's going to finally be stopped at the 22-yard line. Or, I'm sorry, the 17-yard line. Gain of 3.
For the Trojans.
That will bring up a 2nd and 7. Want to mention also our officiating crew tonight. We'll do that here in just a moment as the Mavericks looking at 2nd and 7. Walsh once again lined up out to the right. Lead block one more time for Spillum. Spillum diving forward to the 19-yard line. Picked up another 2-yard pickup. He had 13 carries for 105 yards in the first half, did Spillum. One of which was a 45-yard touchdown. Finding the going a little bit rougher here early on as he's only picked up 5 yards in the first 2 carries of the half.
Meadowdale has it. 3rd and 5 from their own 19.
10:43 showing in the third quarter. As we mentioned earlier, the winner of this game will advance to the state playoff tournament, which starts next week. The loser's season will come to an end. Tingstead looking to pass. Good news is that he throws a completion to Donnie Evans. The bad news is that Evans is short of the first down marker. Ends up down at the 23-yard line, about a yard short. And that's going to bring Malik Braxton onto the field. It's a punt for the first time tonight.
Fourth and a yard to go. The ball sitting on the Meadowdale 23. Malik Braxton.
And Malik to Malik, as Braxton will be punting to Williams. Malik Williams, the 5'8" junior. Braxton looking to fake this one. He's scrambling right now, and he looks like he's going to have the first down, and does. He puts his shoulder down and just barrels into number 3, Axel Baroas. A late penalty thrown there, and that might have been on Braxton, as Braxton was exchanging some words with Baroas at the end of the play. He did pick up enough yards for the first down. We'll wait to see what the call is. I'm not sure if that was a broken play or if Malik was planning on faking that punt from the get-go. Regardless, he did pick up enough yards. If this penalty does not go against him, they will have a first down. Personal foul. It will, in fact, be called against Meadowdale. So they should mark that one off 15 yards from where the tackle was made. And another penalty marker is thrown as the Meadowdale players were complaining and arguing back with the officials, and they're going to get another unsportsmanlike penalty called against them. So tack on additional yardage. This one will be half the distance to the goal line. We have to sort this one out now as the referees now have to get together to make sure that they've got the correct yardage for both penalties.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Meadowdale. Ball will go half the distance to the goal.
So the first penalty goes from the 28 to the 13. That was a 15-yard mark-off. Unsportsmanlike is also a 15-yard penalty, but since they didn't have 15 to give, it is half the distance to the goal. And at the high school level, that means that it's still fourth down. If this would have been at the college or the pro level, you give them the first down, and then the personal foul yardage comes after the play. However, in high school, the play is not over until the possession actually changes and the play is completely concluded. And so therefore, Meadowdale's going to have to punt from their own 6-yard line. What would have been a first down is now a 4th and 17, and Braxton stands back near the back line of his own end zone and does not get off a very good kick. Ball landed at the 29-yard line, however. They're going to walk this one back even closer towards the goal line, and finally spotted at the 24 as the referee assesses the situation and says that is where the ball actually crossed the plane of the sideline. So Malik Braxton costing his team in more ways than one after picking up that first down on the fake punt. Draws the personal foul, which gets marked off against his team, and then shanks the kick. It was a 17-yard punt, and Auburn now with their best field position of the night at the Meadowdale 24-yard line with 9:41 to go here in the third quarter. Number 7, Nick Katz back in at quarterback one more time. So the Trojans continuing with the rotating quarterback situation. Sweep comes around to the right. That is number 17 on the carry, Kevin Clay, and Clay is thrown backwards. Jimmy Bruders and Timothy Smith in on the tackle. As Clay may have picked up a yard, bring up a 2nd and 9.
No gain on the play. Auburn has it. 2nd down.
Auburn looking at, well, they'll call it a no gain. They spotted it at the 24. Clay back under center one more time. Has number 6, Patrick Odell, lined up back there. They're going to run the sweep again. Clay one more time. This time Clay dives up the middle as he comes around from that left side. Gets ahead to the 22-yard line. And the yardage is just not coming easy for the Trojans tonight. And Clay not able to get up at the end of the play. He is down with an injury. And with that, we'll take a quick break. The score, Meadowdale 23, Auburn 0. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
Back again, 8:31 showing on the clock in the third quarter. Auburn trailing 23-0. However, they do have their best field position of the night. Going in motion is number 11, Malik Williams. Take the handoff. Cats back to pass, and he is going down. Timothy Smith coming up the middle. Quarterback sack at the 27-yard line. A loss of 5 yards on the play. It's going to bring up a 4th and 13 for Auburn. Rather than try a long field goal, they appear to be going for it here as the offense is staying on the field.
5-yard loss on the play. 4th and 13.
7:52 showing on the clock here, third quarter. Nick Katz, the senior quarterback, back under center one more time. Let's see what they run right here. Williams in motion. Katz drops back to pass. Deep drop this time as he's back on his own 41-yard line. Throws a screen pass incomplete. That was Patrick Odell, the intended receiver, and even if Odell catches that ball, he was going to be well short of the first down. And once again, Auburn turns it over on a possession. Penalty marker is, however, down. Referee's still talking about this one. They wave off the penalty. I'm not sure what that was. They might have been about to call a illegal man downfield after talking to one another. Decide that it is not a penalty. There will be a turnover on downs as Meadowdale will regain possession at their own 27-yard line. So the personal foul and the shanked punt by Malik Braxton did not cost the Mavericks a thing. If anything, they picked up yardage as Auburn, who had the ball to start that possession on the 24-yard line, give it back to Meadowdale at the 27. Tingstead hands off to Spillum. Spillum looking for room around the right. Gets ahead past the first down marker and picks up a few extra on the end. Was finally brought down at the 44-yard line. A gain of 17 yards on the play. As Demetrius Town making the tackle and Spillum adding on to his total. He now has unofficially 127 yards on the night. 7:13 showing here in the third quarter. As if you did not watch during the second quarter, we were interviewing Beth Marriott, the Activities and Athletic Director here at Meadowdale, and she has told us that tentatively, this is not etched in stone, but tentatively, if Meadowdale were to win this game tonight, and if Eastside Catholic wins, we assume that they will, those two teams would play next Friday night at Memorial Stadium in downtown Seattle, and Spillum doing his part one more time to make sure that that matchup is that much more of a probability. He picks up another big gain. This time he gets 12 yards, going from one 44-yard line to the other. As he crosses into Auburn territory, and Meadowdale is on the move one more time. As we are almost halfway through this third quarter, the Mavs with a 23-point lead and looking for more. Tingstead in shotgun formation. He has Braxton all the way out to the left. Donnie Evans in the slot. Takes the snap, hands off to Spillum. Spillum looking to run to the right. Getting dragged down from behind at the 36-yard line after picking up 8. However, there is a penalty marker down on the field. Started to do this a few minutes ago, but we'll now get you caught up on who our referees are tonight as head referee Jeff Sedaris signals a holding call against Meadowdale. The umpire tonight, Steve Hauser, Doing the line is Edward Tharp, the line judge Kevin Corbett, and the back judge Kyle Gerke.
That is a 10-yard penalty for holding against the Mavericks.
And they're getting quite the workout here in the third quarter. A lot of marching back and forth, not only following the teams up and down the field, but having to march off a lot of penalties here, as it's been a rather sloppy second half thus far. And those 5 guys are earning their money tonight. Ball is pushed back to the 46-yard line of Meadowdale. A first and 20 situation coming up as Tingstead is in shotgun formation, and the referees continue to throw those flags around the place as Peyton Smear might have jumped on the right side there. It's going to move them back 5 more yards. It's always unfortunate. It seems like we call the offensive line out when they make a mistake or get called for a penalty, and really this is an offensive line that deserves to be praised more than they deserve to be called out for their mistakes, as they're having themselves one heck of a game. As we try to mention them one more time here in just a moment, as Smyer been playing well at that right tackle all season long. Another shotgun coming up for Tingstead. This time he's throwing down to Malik Braxton, catches the ball around the right sideline, makes one man miss, and is still running to the 10, the 5, touchdown Mavericks! Malik Braxton with a 59-yard reception. Boy, is he smooth. Jukes the first player right out of his shoes, figuratively speaking. Puts a cut on the second player, and once he gets an opening, there's nobody catching number 5. Sprints right down to the sideline into the end zone, and it's 29-0 Mavericks.
I see a t-shirt being printed. First and 25, no problem.
Yeah, Angelo Camo points out first and 20, no problem. There's Meadowdale. They kept giving up penalty yardage, and they just went out and picked it right back up on the following play and marched that ball down the field and into the end zone. Brett Schaefer with the PAT. The kick is good, and with 5:18 to go here in the third quarter, Meadowdale with the 30-0 lead. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Linwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Yeah.
For the Trojans, number 2, Avery Wade, number 11, Malik Williams.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network, presented by Shoreline Community College. Meadowdale with 4 touchdowns tonight, coming from 4 different players. This time, Malik Braxton with the 59-yard reception. Caleb Tingstead with his second TD pass of the night. And Brett Schaefer going to pooch kick this one down to the 28-yard line, and taken down after a gain of 4 yards is number 9, Sam Lindsay. Stephen Punto, number 24, making the tackle. Kobe Saysmith also down to cover the play.
Starts their possession, first and 10 from their own 33.
So 5:15 to go here in the third quarter. Hesitate to say it's a foregone conclusion, but at this point it looks as though the Meadowdale Mavericks will be moving on to the next round here, and a possible rematch against Eastside Catholic, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year. A team that's actually knocked them out of the playoffs the last 2 years, I should mention. Iomo back in at quarterback now for Auburn. Of the 2 quarterbacks, he is certainly the one that's the most dangerous with his feet, and he decides to keep that ball as he runs up the middle to the 37-yard line. Call it a 4-yard gain, which will bring up a 2nd and 6 for the Trojans. Call it a 5-yard gain as Iomo Under center this time has nobody in the backfield. Wade goes into motion. Give him the handoff on the sweep, and he does not find much room. So that defense continues to be tough tonight. Jimmy Bruders, number 36. The senior, 6'1", 210 linebacker, makes another big tackle, and Bruders is, say he's having himself a heck of a night. He's having himself a heck of a couple of years here at Meadowdale. He's been playing well. It's giving them quite the presence there in the middle of the field there at linebacker for the last couple of seasons, and certainly he's no stranger to playoff football and coming through with another big game tonight. 3:59 left here in the third quarter. Auburn trying to get back in this game. In order to get in the game, you need to score at some point, and they really haven't even come that close to doing that thus far. As Iomo looking downfield, scrambling, buying himself some more time, finally fires it over the middle, incomplete. The intended receiver on that play was number 9, Sam Lindsay. Nick Neely, the corner, or the safety rather, had that one guarded rather nicely. That's going to make little brother Tyson happy. As we interviewed Tyson at halftime, and one of the first questions we asked him was what he thought of his brother's play tonight. And what did Tyson tell us? He said his brother needs to step it up a little bit. You don't normally hear kids say when his older brother is playing on a team that's pitching a shutout at the half. As Braxton steps up, he called a fair catch. And getting called for the penalty is number 5, Jack Tuya. Not sure if he just received the fair catch or not. In a second.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mount Lake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
Hey, and there we go. We are back again. 3:38 to go here in the ball game. The audio is back, and as are we, 30-7. Auburn did manage to get a touchdown. Looks a little bit better on the scoreboard. However, Meadowdale still well in control on this one. 3:21 and counting on the clock as Tingstead still in at quarterback. Hands the ball off to Spillum. Spillum looking for room in the middle. Still fighting his way forward. No, that was number 21. Paul Savchuk carrying that ball to midfield. He's finally tackled, and that's going to bring up third down. Did find out a final score tonight as Eastside Catholic defeated Arlington 42-14, which means that Meadowdale will, in fact, be playing Eastside Catholic in the playoffs for the third straight year. And as we mentioned earlier, we're still awaiting official confirmation, which might not come for another day or two. But according to Beth Marriott, the activities and athletic director here at Meadowdale, they will more than likely be traveling as Savchuk gets hit in the backfield, manages to bounce out to the right a little bit, got back to the line of scrimmage. So it appears as though Meadowdale and Eastside Catholic will be playing each other next Friday night at 7 o'clock at Memorial Stadium in Seattle. We're not ready to make an official announcement yet, but I have a feeling we'll be broadcasting that game on Sound Live Sports Network for the second year in a row. And as we talked about it at halftime, a great game last year, one in which Eastside Catholic defeated Meadowdale 21-16. So by great game, I mean an exciting game. If you are a Meadowdale fan, it was not a great outcome, but it was an exciting game in which Meadowdale had a chance to potentially go ahead with about a minute and a half to go before an interception ended their chances. Give Braxton a lot of credit on that punt, by the way, as initially could not come up with the snap. It bounced on the turf a couple of times and spun out of a potential block and was finally able to kick it rugby style after rolling out to the right. Kicked the ball all the way down to the 19-yard line. 31-yard punt, and that is where Auburn will take over with 1:32 to go. So now that we have sound back, that means we will be doing our Red Onion Burger Player of the Game after all. Stick around for that as Angelo Camo's looking at me like, oh, we do have to do that interview now, don't we? Got a couple players in mind, maybe somebody we haven't had this year yet, as we've had a few Meadowdale players stop by the booth and collect their T-shirts. I can think of a couple of different candidates for that award as we'll await this next play here. Dropping back to pass is Katz. Overshoots his intended receiver, Jack Tuya. Ball hits the turf, incomplete. Brings up a 2nd and 10. 1:25 to go here in the ball game. And the Mavericks are just 85 ticks of the clock away from going to 8 wins and 3 losses on the season. No, 9 wins and 2 losses on the season. I gave them an extra loss. They don't deserve that. Having lost only to Lake Stevens in a non-conference game to start the season and then losing to Marysville-Pilchuck last week. And that play is run up the middle to the 26-yard line. And the clock continues to run. And Auburn decides they want to take a quick timeout, and we will as well. 1:14 to go in the game. Again, stick around. We will have our Red Onion Burger Player of the Game at the conclusion. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And we are back again on the Sound Live Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. Auburn looking to close out on a strong note as their season is about to come to an end here. Congratulations on the Trojans on a nice season. This will bring their overall record to 7 wins and 4 losses.
4 yards.
Playing out of the
First down.
SPSL division this year.
Ball staying at the 31-yard line. First and 10, Auburn.
Certainly you want to commend any team that makes the playoffs. Obviously at the end of the season only one team will be crowned state champions. And this is an Auburn team that played well all season long, had a few close losses, or they might have even finished ahead of 1 or 2 other teams in their conference. We mentioned earlier 3 losses on the year coming into this game, one of which was an overtime game. Another loss was a 4-point game. And if you are the head coach, Gordon Elliott, for Auburn, you have to be pretty pleased with how your team has played this year. And looks like they might even have a bright future. Number 1, Justin Iomo, the quarterback, certainly has a lot of promise ahead of him. He showed that earlier tonight. And that ball was almost intercepted as number 7, Nick Katz, the senior, finishing out this game. Threw that ball behind his intended receiver. And number 28, Colby Saysmith, for a brief moment there, thought he was going to have an interception with nothing but end zone in front of him. Unfortunately, was not able to catch up to that ball. It falls to the turf, and that brings up 3rd down. .47 seconds left. Katz back under center one more time. 2 receivers split out to the right, 1 to the left. Drops back to pass. He's being blitzed. Almost goes down. Finally scrambles forward. Gets ahead to the 47-yard line. Picks up 8 yards and does pick up a first down. As if you are one of these Auburn football players, the game has already been decided. However, if you are a senior, you certainly want to go out on a high note. You'd like to get another play or 2 in before your career comes to an end here at the stadium. And Mr. Katz making sure that he gets at least one more offensive play by picking up that first down on the scramble. Katz back to pass one more time, throwing it deep down the left sideline, incomplete. That was Malik Williams going up, trying to make the catch. Being defended rather nicely by Halen Roberts. Roberts, the sophomore, getting some time back at the corner position right now. And with 30 seconds to go, Auburn back under center one more time. Katz with Williams in motion. Hands the ball off to Odell. Odell looking for some space up the middle. Tries to cut it out to the left, where he's finally brought down by number 17, Roberts. 17 seconds showing on the clock. And we get an Auburn timeout. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
And here we are just in time as Auburn almost put another touchdown on the board. Long pass down the field was intended for number 5, Jack Toohey. Incomplete. That's going to bring up a 4th and 5 with 10 seconds to go. Before we forget, want to also give a special thanks to our 2 students who were running the camera for us tonight. We had Evan Parton and Hannah Gradwall, both showing up here and giving us a hand this evening, along with the teacher, the man that makes it happen, Angelo Camo, up here in the booth, putting this production together. He refuses to put the headphones on to be acknowledged, but he's standing here nonetheless, so we thank him. And Teresa Whipple, our publisher, who continues to do great things within our community here. Nice catch there by number 9. That is Sean Lindsay. Hey, if you're going to go out, you might as well do it that way, as Lindsay, a senior, ends his career with a nice long pass. Gets all the way down to the 15-yard line before he's tackled, but that is the end of the game. And the Meadowdale Mavericks advance to the next round of the playoffs. The final score, Meadowdale 30, Auburn 7. Meadowdale to play Eastside Catholic next week. Again, it's tentative. We don't know for sure, but we believe they will be playing at 7 p.m. on Friday night. We know the opponent. It's Eastside Catholic. We believe it will be 7 p.m. Friday night at Seattle Memorial Stadium. That game will be broadcasted. We're going to take a quick break right now. Do not go anywhere. We're going to come back with our Red Onion Burger player of the game. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Welcome to Northwest Best, brought to you by Smart Service Subaru. Here's your host, Mike Halsey.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. And you're involved in a lot of community projects.
Yes, Mike, we are. With the help of our loyal customers, we're able to give back to our community. Such as we take 100 kids shopping with cops and join us for our terrific Tuesday fundraisers. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
Nice job. Congratulations. Put that on. Two, three. We can go down below. We have audio? Okay, we are back again, and your final score one more time. Is that Mom taking a picture?
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. There we go. Hi, Mom. There we go. As Caleb Tingstead is our Red Onion Burger player of the game. Caleb, we're going to give you this shirt here in just a minute, but first I want to ask you a few questions. First of all, congratulations tonight on a huge win.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Now, you've had to step in all season long. I know going into the year you were the backup quarterback and playing a lot of tight end.
Yeah.
When JP went down, you had to step in, and you've done a great job leading this team all the way to the playoffs and into the second round here.
Well, what I'll say about that is when we have such as good of athletes as we do that surround me, they make me look really good, and I don't get touched unless I go run around because our offensive line does such a good job, and so whatever success I have is just a reflection of the athletes around me and the tremendous protection that we have up front because they do a really good job of protecting me.
Speaking of really good job, you do a lot of that on your own, so don't take you can take a little bit of that credit, and one of the plays in which you should take a lot of credit for was a 55-yard touchdown run in the first quarter. Walk us through that play. When did you realize that you had an end zone in front of you?
Well, it was a read option play, and so I pulled it, and we had a great kick out block, and so I got around the edge there, and there was the safety standing there, and Malik came out of nowhere and got him out of the way, and from there I was just able to get into the end zone because there was nobody out there, and I think that's just another example of how well we do up front and how physical we are and how good of a job we do at blocking.
You turned on the jet though, that play. You ran away from a couple guys there. That wasn't too bad.
Well, I got to give a lot of guys some. I got a lot of high fives over there. They didn't know I was that fast. So
they do now, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. And now, you threw a couple touchdown passes tonight. The one to Charlie White, that was a nice little bullet into the back corner there.
Yeah, he's such a big target, and I've been playing with him ever since the 3rd grade, and so we've always had that connection. And he's just another great athlete to throw the ball to. And I mean, he's open in the end zone, so just put it on him and let him go make the catch. And that was exactly what that was all about.
And then you threw a 59-yarder to Malik Braxton. Just get it out to him and let him do the rest, right?
Yep. Talk about a dominant athlete. I mean, that guy's special, man. And I can't wait to watch him on Saturdays because he's going to do some big things at the next level. And you add on the fact that he's such a good teammate and he's a very selfless guy. And so I mean, you want to throw him the ball there, and you want him to go out there and make that one guy miss and go off to the races. So
well, before we let Malik go and play on Saturdays, we got some more Friday action coming up, and a team that you might be a little bit familiar with, a team called Eastside Catholic coming up next week.
Yep.
A rematch game. Have you guys talked a little bit about that? I know they ended your season last year. Are you excited to have another shot at the Crusaders?
Oh yeah. They got some dudes. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that they are not good, and they will probably they'll probably be projected to beat us, but that's what we like. We like coming out here every day and playing with that little chip on our shoulder, knowing that no one expects us to win, and so we're going to go out there. We're going to give them our best shot, and I believe that our best shot will be good enough to give them a run for their money because they're pretty good, but we're pretty good too. Yep. And so I think it'll be a really fun game.
It should be a lot of fun. And I'll tell you what, Caleb, if you guys play anything like you did tonight here at Edmond Stadium. Yeah. The Crusaders better look out. They're going to get a heck of a team on their hands. It sounds like, we don't know this for sure, but it sounds like that game might be at Memorial Stadium, as you guys have played last year.
I mean, as long as we don't have to go out to the plateau, that would be great. A lot shorter drive, and that's also a really fun place to play. A lot of history there. But yeah, I mean, a rematch against one of the top 5 teams in the state, that doesn't happen too often, and that's something that we definitely look forward to. Look forward to the challenge.
So there you go. So again, 30-7 is the final score tonight. This guy right here, Caleb Tingstead, is our Red Onion Burger player of the game. Caleb, I'm going to have you turn here to your right so we can get a picture of you in that shirt. Get that one up on the website. And there we go. So I'm going to let you get back to your teammates. I'll let you take that. Hey, congratulations on a great game tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
And best of luck to you next week, a game that we'll hopefully be broadcasting next Friday against Eastside Catholic.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. So again, that's Caleb Tingstead, our Red Onion Burger player of the game. We'll keep this very short since we're kind of making do with what we have here right now. But again, a very impressive win for Meadowdale tonight. 23-0 lead at the half. They rolled out to a 30-0 lead in the third quarter and then coasted to the end, where they were able to defeat the Auburn Trojans. 23-point victory, and for the second straight year, Meadowdale advancing on to the next round of the playoffs. And like we mentioned time and time again tonight, an opponent they know very well, the Eastside Catholic Crusaders, a team that's knocked them out of the playoffs each of the last 2 years. So we're not ready to announce it and make it official yet. We need to check on a few things, but we should be broadcasting that game next Friday night from Seattle's Memorial Stadium. Again, the tentative time that we've been told is 7 p.m. next Friday night. We invite you to tune in if you can't make it in person, or we also suggest that perhaps go to the game, bring your smartphone with you, and watch us live right here on the Sound Live Sports Network. So for Angelo Camo, Teresa Whipple, Evan Pardon, Hannah Gradwell, I'm Steve Willits. We appreciated you for watching us tonight. You've been watching the Sound Live Sports Network. Have a good night.